What's up, BlackDoctor.org family? How y'all doing out there? What up, though? Come on, man. How y'all doing? I know y'all doing good. What's up, Jeffrey?
What's going on, Gus? You coming in hot, huh?
I'm excited, man. I'm so. If I was any more excited, I'd be twins, man. So, you know, I knew this guy. He was Indian, right? From Indians Without Reservations, from the country of India. Okay. All those Indians Without Reservations. I'm so excited. I'm standing beside myself. Oh man. So yeah, I'm so excited. I'm standing beside myself. Look, y'all. It's getting warm, right? It's going June. It's June, right? June. It's getting warm. And if you wanted a tree with shade, I got a big shade tree in my backyard. If you wanted a shade tree that was like big, like the one in my backyard,
I
had to plant it like 30, 40 years ago. That would have been the best time to plant it.
Yeah.
Big, beautiful tree. You know when the next best time to plant that tree is, Jeff? I know you know when that is, right?
No, today.
So here's something I'm gonna ask y'all to do. Please, right now, forget the past. Okay? Forget the past. Do y'all drive cars? Some of y'all out there, y'all drive cars? Okay? Yeah. You know that your car has glass in it in certain strategic areas?
All around it.
All around it, right? So you can see what's going on, right?
Right.
But the smallest piece of glass in your car allows you to look where?
Behind you.
Behind you. You know why it's the smallest piece of glass?
Because you shouldn't focus there.
You shouldn't be focused on that. That's the least important place for you to be looking.
You glance.
I don't think you heard me.
I heard you, man.
The biggest piece of glass is called your windshield. Is where you going. Hello?
Yes.
Today we're talking about your windshield.
Like Elsa said, let it go. Huh? Elsa, the animated character from Frozen, she sings a song called "Let It Go."
Let It Go, does she? I've never seen that movie, I must admit.
Yeah, me either, but I just know that part.
You just know that part? It's good so you can be culturally relevant. You can know some parts. Okay, so we want you guys to thrive. So we're going to talk about, it says April's Financial Literacy Month. No, every month is Financial Literacy Month. Not just April. It's Financial Literacy Month, y'all. It's Financial Literacy Month. Now, I want to thank y'all that came out last week. This event was a hit. We had a sold-out crowd. You can't really sell out Zoom, but we had a bunch of people on there that were excited. Now, we've got another one coming up. I'm gonna have the promotional piece for next week. It's going to be on June 29th. Write that down, June 29th at the same time. We're going to be talking about developing income for life. Developing income for life. Now, check this out. Let me give you a for instance of what I'm talking about here. Okay. A friend of mine works for the government, and he's about to retire from the government. And he about tired of them folk. He's one of the most faithful, hardworking dudes on the planet. And if you can run him out of somewhere, you a bad person, man. You just, as we say, you double dumb and stupid. But he's retiring, and he did well for himself. So imagine whatever your retirement income is, if you could take your money and put it in something that gave you 30% bonus on day one. Did you hear what I said?
I heard you, 30%.
A 30% bonus on day one. And then would promise you, for the purposes of income, 9.5% return on that money every year for the next 12 years. The rule of 72 said your money's going to double in 8 years. So in 8 years, you'd have double what you came out of retirement with. And this particular person, we're going to sit down and talk. But I don't think they're going to need to use this money to live on. So what if you could get 30% put on your money and let it sit there and double over 8 years before you had to touch it? And it's guaranteed. It's contractually guaranteed by one of the largest, wealthiest companies in the world. They're willing to make you a written guarantee. Would you like to know about that? We're going to be talking about that. The Zoom is the same. It's going to be on June 29th, same 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. It's an hour. We do it boom, boom. It's hot. We get in, we get out. Okay? If you're interested, that's the link, and email me at gus@fpneducator. Because here's what we like to do. We like to schedule our follow-ups before the meeting, because the meeting gets crazy afterwards, and you're trying to catch up with 100 people. Man, it ain't happening, bro. So we want to schedule our follow-up meetings before the meeting. Okay? That's why I want your email. Because we do it in a Zoom style, not a webinar style, so you can ask questions. If we do a webinar style, you just sit there and watch. That ain't no fun. So we do a Zoom style. It can be exciting because people leave their mics on and stuff, and they say crazy stuff, and you hear things you shouldn't hear. But, hey, it's life, right? But we want to have some interaction, so we do it Zoom style, right? So come on. It's going to be on June 20th. I have a new flyer up next week. So it's going to be awesome. All right. Now, money. Money impacts families. Y'all had a holiday weekend, right? This past weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully y'all didn't get no fights or nothing with nobody. But could y'all have used some more money to celebrate Memorial Day? Could you have used more money?
Yeah, for sure.
Would you maybe have done something different if you had more money?
Yeah.
Now, what would you might have done different, Jeff?
I probably would have traveled, maybe.
Yeah, travel somewhere.
Yeah. And take all of my family.
Yeah, take your whole family, get out of town. A change of scenery is good, man, for a person.
Yeah.
My wife, like about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I went to Birmingham, Alabama for like 4 days. Man, that was nice. Then my wife, man, she went to Puerto Vallarta.
That's a little different than Birmingham.
Oh, that's way different than Birmingham. for 10 days, man.
Wow.
And half the time they stayed at a 5-star resort. Puerto Vallarta has a mountain in it that's right off the ocean. And so when you look at this place, it's got beachfront property, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got beachfront property, but then it's also got property at the top of the hill.
Oh,
so
wow.
they've got a workout spot, bro, where you can get on a treadmill, looking out glass, out straight into the ocean. Wow. It is the most majestic thing you ever want to see, man. It is beautiful. And they got restaurants up there and they play music and you see it all over the sea. Oh, man, shoot. I got a mani-pedi last time I was there. Oh, my goodness. It was redunculous. But, yeah, so she went there. I went to Birmingham, Alabama, and she went to Puerto Vallarta at a 5-star resort.
One of these things is not like the other. Man,
not even. But so we didn't have no family conflicts because she was happy. She's happy. So, but money impacts families usually negatively because it's usually that those people fighting. They're not fighting because there's too much money. Usually, it's because there's not enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So our goal is to help you. Like the seminar we did last week, the goal was to help you get out of debt, pay off everything you owe, including your mortgage, in 6 to 9 years. Now, if you're interested in that, we can still help you with that. You can see my email up there. Hit me on email. Let's talk about it and see if you qualify for the program. So April is Financial Literacy Month. I'm going to cross this out. It's every month is Financial Literacy Month. And usually there's 3 big questions people have. How do I get totally out of debt? Because think about the money you pay for debt right now: mortgage, credit cards, car notes, school loans, whatever. That's several thousands of dollars a month that's going away from you. Jeffrey, what if the average American could take that money and have it being invested for them every month?
That would change a lot for them. It would dramatically impact their lives in not too long a time.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna okay, check this out. If you have a little calculator, I did this the other day. I did this calculator. Okay. And let's just say, here's a calculator. What's a reasonable about a month if you that people are paying their debt every month? Okay, because a mortgage note, $2,000 is not a lot, is it, Jeff?
No, sir.
No, not at all. That's not a lot. So that's very conservative. Cars are $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
So cars are $1,000 a month. And then let's say you got credit cards. Let's say it's $3,500 a month. $3,500 a month times 12 months. That's $42,000 in debt payments, y'all. Okay. So usually if you have a house note, it's for 30 years, right?
Usually.
Yeah. If you could pay it off in 6 years, you would save 24 years.
Yeah.
So if you could save it in 24 years and take that 42,000 and get 6% on that money, okay? Let's get 6% on that money for the years you save, for 24 years, okay? Check this out. Let me tell you how much money you'd have.
Hold on. Let me put my seatbelt on.
Yeah, so hold on. Let me. I messed it up. Hold on. Let me come back. Come back, Mr. Finance. Where'd you go? Here we go. Okay. So we're gonna take 42,000 times 1.06 for 24 years. Okay, it's $170,000 that you would have for you.
Hold on.
170 grand.
42,000.
Yep, becomes 170 grand. I might have did that wrong.
Yeah, because you were talking 24 years.
Yep. Yep, I might have did it wrong. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the calculator out and do it right. Hold on, I messed it up. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, it comes over a set, but I'm gonna do it on the calculator here in a second. Get out of debt, create income for life, pass wealth on to the next generation. That's what we're talking about. So it says we don't have a savings problem in this country, we have a banking problem. Have you ever gotten to the end of the month and asked yourself this question? Where'd my money go? You know, so your money is either running towards you or running away from you. What are the things that cause your money to run away from you? What are those things?
Car notes.
Credit cards.
Personal loans, student loans.
And just your bills too, right?
Right. But you gotta there's gonna be expenses, but the debt is arguably something unnecessary that you don't necessarily have to have.
Yeah, you don't have to have the debt. Okay. But what we want to talk to you about is something that's really important. And it's some foundational principles and solutions to money running away from you. It's not necessarily about a product, even though you're going to use one to get it done. It's not about a strategy, even though there is some strategy. but it's based on some foundational principles that are proven for hundreds and hundreds of years and thousands and thousands of families. Okay, and so here's the thing. There's a guy named R. Nelson Nash, and there's a concept out there called infinite banking concept. There are a lot of people out there talking about it, but R. Nelson Nash is the discoverer of the concept, the father of the concept. And Jeff and I are being trained in what's called the IBC Practitioner Program. I'm being trained directly, Jeff indirectly right now. He'll be joining the program here shortly. But he's under the same training philosophy and with R. Nelson Nash trained professionals that have literally thousands of years of experience at this organization called infinitebanking.org. I encourage you to check it out. And it's a philosophy of life, not a product or financial strategy. It's about getting control of banking in your life, the impact of economics on your life, how to leverage insurance in your life, and to have a philosophy, a love of knowledge that leverages your imagination, your ability to think, reason, logic, and kind of see into the future. Wouldn't it be helpful to kind of be able to see around corners a little bit and be predictive of what's going to happen next in our economy? Well, if you understand what's going on, you'll know what to do.
Yep.
If you understand what's going on, you'll know what to do. So here's the book. We're reading this book. It's called Becoming Your Own Banker, the 5th edition. There's a 6th edition out there as well. The only differences are some charts. All the words in the book are the same. Okay, so we're taking our time going through this book and challenging your thinking about money, okay? Challenging your thinking about money. So what we're going to do here is to have you to we want you to get the book, okay? If at all possible. And I know you can get the book. It's available at Amazon. I know. We're not supposed to be shopping at Amazon. Just one time, get the book, okay?
Well, they can actually go to the Infinite Banking website.
You go to the Infinite Banking website and get it from there, okay? There's local bookstores. I know we local bookstores you can get from. But pick the book up, okay? And we're going through the book page by page, guys. And this is actually, I've scanned this page out of my book to just see. We're reading this book and we're digesting it and thinking about it. Okay, and we only have about 12 more minutes to go, and we ended up here on this point number 4. Okay, and it says, can you read that, Jeff?
Yeah, it says the whole idea is to recapture the interest that one is paying to banks and finance companies for the major items that we need during a lifetime, such as automobiles, major appliances, education, homes, investment opportunities, business equipment, etc.
Right. Okay. So why is that important? Because here's the thing. Every dollar we spend costs us money. What are you talking about, Gus? If I buy something cash, why does it cost me money? Check this out. Any money you have can only do one of 3 things for you. It can either make you money, pay you interest, right? You pay interest, or it does nothing. If it does nothing, you've given up the ability to make that interest, right? That's called an opportunity cost. Nowadays, you could buy treasury bills or bonds and make 3, 4, 5% on them almost with no risk. So what that's saying is this. If every dollar that comes through my hand, I'm not making money on it, what am I doing? Losing money. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. You're not losing money only for your lifetime. How many of y'all have children? The money's been lost for their lifetime too. And if they have kids, guess what? it's going to be lost for their lifetime too. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? And I just ran those numbers again. I came up with a number, Jeff, because we're not adding any more money to that 42,000. We're just doing the 6%. It's over 300 grand. It's over 300 grand that will be worth over those 24 years. So check this out. I know I did this. Think about this for a second. How many years you been working? Jeff, how many years you been working?
Full time as a
No, it just from the time you got your first paycheck.
Oh man, that's not fair.
What do you mean?
I was 16.
16, right?
Yeah, so that's 36 years.
36 years, okay. 36 years. Now, I know this is hard, but let's say there was an average amount of money you made over the last 36 years. I know you can't average this stuff, but just give me a number that's conservative, but it's in the ballpark.
Let's call it 40 grand.
Okay, 40,000. And let's say you could save 40,000. We saved 5,000 a year. 5,000 a year. That would be pretty good, right?
Yeah.
We say 5,000 a year. So let's say I got this calculator going. So the starting balance is 0. Annual contribution is 5,000. Current age is 16 to 52.
It's 36 years.
36 years. And we're gonna have it make 9% now and 9% in retirement. View the report. That was worth $1.7 million, yeah.
Yeah.
1.7 million, man.
Yeah. I need to go find my 16-year-old self and talk to him.
Yeah, man. So it's important. The whole banking thing is important. And what we want to do with this infinite banking concept is get it to the point where not just the $4,000 is making you interest, but that whole 40,000 over time. What would that number be if we looked at the whole 40,000? Oh my goodness. It'd be astronomical. Okay, so we want to recapture the interest that we're paying to banks. What if one of the major things that people tend to finance in their life, Jeff? What are the major things they usually end up financing?
House,
car,
and college for their kids.
College for their kids, and sometimes a wedding.
Yep.
Right. Sometimes vacations, if they're big enough. Right.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff. What if you had your own bank that you set up, and you could take money out of the Jeffrey Farrell Bank and pay for all those things, and then pay yourself back for them, and you never had to borrow any money?
Yeah, that's important. One, just the control aspect of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not having to answer a whole bunch of personal questions from some guy on the other side of the desk asking me what I'm gonna do with the money.
Yeah. People just do what you want to with it.
Right. I don't know if you've ever been through the process of borrowing money from a bank. It's not like you can get the money in a couple of days. It takes sometimes months to get through the lending process.
Yeah.
Especially if you're buying the bigger the item, like if you're doing a mortgage, that can sometimes take 30 plus days to close.
Yeah. And they take you through all the 6s and 7s to do that.
Oh my goodness.
But the goal of the infinite banking process is over time, and it's going to take some time to do it. It may take 10, 15 years to either build up and capitalize your bank that much, but it can be done. Okay. Now think about this. What generation are you in your family? From the time you could go back, and unfortunately that's going back to slavery, when you could call somebody a relative, how many generations can we go back?
3.
At least 3. And I know those were tough generations. And man, the first generation out of slavery was a lot different than where we are today. Thank God, right? But what if we could have saved a minimal amount of money and done that consistently for the last 3 generations?
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't a whole lot of money, it was just $4,000. That would be millions of dollars that our families would have. So here's the thing. You may not have come from money. You may not have come from money, but money can come from you. We learn how to control the banking process in our life. And don't put our money in other people's banks. Put money in our bank. Now, we're not going to open up a bank per se. Okay? This isn't a literal bank. But we're going to use a financial product to act as a bank. Okay? And we'll talk about that financial product as we go. So that's number 4. Point number 5. This book isn't about investments of any kind. It's about how one finances the things of life, which can certainly include investments. It's not about rates of return, because rates of return go up and down, but it's the process of banking that goes on no matter what's happening. In all of our hometowns, right? Who has the biggest banks? The biggest buildings in our town, usually?
Banks.
It's usually banks and insurance companies. Why? Because that's where the money is. If everybody in the town was taking their money and bringing it willingly to you, and then you made money off that money, wouldn't it stand the reason that you'd have the most money in the town? Because when you get a paycheck, where does it go? Direct deposit where?
To my bank.
To your bank.
Not my bank.
It's not your bank, though. It's got somebody else's name on it, right?
Yeah. I ain't saying their name, but it rhymes with Ierica.
So if they're all getting our money, then what do they do with our money when they get it, Jeff?
Money has to flow. So they get it out the door as fast as possible in the form of a loan.
They loan it to people. And they'll take you put $1,000 in, they'll only keep a little bit of that money in the bank, 10%, and they'll make $10,000 worth of loans off that $1,000 you gave, which increases the money in the economy and helps cause inflation. That's another discussion. Okay, but they take your money and they loan it to other people. They pay you a small percentage, and think about what they make on auto loans, home loans. And it's not the percentage, it's the amount over time. Yeah. If you buy a house for $250,000, how much are you going to pay for the house after interest?
$500,000.
Well over $500,000. But you had a really good interest rate. Yeah.
That's page 3 of that loan document, that loan estimate.
That loan estimate, yeah.
Did they hurry up, get you to sign an initial, and then they move past it?
Yep. Total interest paid, man. You may have a low percentage rate, but the way the loan is structured, you pay all principal for all interest for a long time. And you end up paying twice for that house. Okay, so we want to get out of that program. And that's a house with low interest rate. What about a credit card that's at 20%? That, as they say, that's even worse. Okay. It says it is a well-known fact that banks make more money during times of low interest than when rates are high. Why? Because people are more willing to borrow money because they can make the payment. Making the payment and really being able to afford something are two different things. Would you agree, Mr. Jeff?
Yes, very much so.
Very much so, right? So one more point.
Yeah, this is really important.
It's not a procedure to get rich quickly. It requires long-range planning. Look, what we're talking about, you didn't get in debt overnight. We can get you out of debt in 6 to 9 years. And then by saving you that time, we can then turn around and reinvest that money for you and begin to build wealth for you and your family. Lord willing, I'm going to live another 20, 25 years. If you do this process in 20, 25 years, you can be worth 7 figures multiple by then, if you do it. But if you don't do it or something else, where are you going to be? So know that it's going to take some time. But look at all the generations that you've been in already. Has it happened? No, usually not. How about we try something different that has a proven track record of working? I'm working with hundreds of people who've been in this business 20, 30 years, who've helped tens of thousands of people make this happen. It worked because it's a math problem, guys. But we want to show you how to apply math differently and think a little bit differently about your money, okay? So we're going to stop there at point number 6, long-range planning. Are you willing to give it a good shot? Think about how long you've been doing what you're doing right now. How's that worked out for you? Are you open to trying something different? So join us at the end of the month on the Income for Life webinar. Get the Becoming Your Own Banker book and start reading it, right? Then you got our contact information. Let's get together and connect and put together a plan for getting you out of debt, for building wealth for you and for your generations. Does that make sense? You see this picture behind me? Jeff said, I don't know where that is, but I want to be there. That was on a friend of mine's boat down in Florida. And wouldn't you like to be able to do that? Go out on a boat or go out on somebody else's boat and be able to tool around and have some fun and stuff like that. Man, life is short, y'all. Life is short. A good friend of mine just lost his wife of 40 plus years. It's heartbreaking, right? They've got 5 kids. They've got and they got more grandkids you can shake a stick at. They keep popping them out. They got 12, 13, 14 grandkids and stuff, and they lost their grandmother. So we're praying for them. Life is precious. Let's make the most of it while we got it, and let's don't spend it being in debt and not having financial independence and freedom. Having these weights on our head about money, being under somebody's thumb at the job or something like that. Okay? So with these principles we're talking about, things can change. Come go with us. Okay? Let's go. What you want to say, Jeff? You want to say something? I know you want to say, I can tell already. You want to say something. What you want to say, Jeff?
No, I really want to drive home the point of the importance of thinking long-term. The difference between wealthy and poor people is wealthy people think generationally. They think 2, 3, 4 generations down the road, and poor people just try to think till next Friday. And so I would encourage our listeners to get the book, read the book, and think long-term and think about the generations that are coming that you may never live to see. But nonetheless, you have a responsibility to empower them and equip them to be better off. So hope you'll take advantage of that and get down the road with this.
What he said. Y'all have a good day. We'll see y'all next time. Okay? Infinite Banking Concept. Jeff and Gus, we out.